Hello, my name is Anastasia and welcome to Watercolor Art Cafe. Today we're continuing watercolor sketch portrait course and we are painting our third portrait. And if you haven't watched previous videos, you can find them on the channel where I was painting this one and this one. We did it together, so I hope you enjoying the course and let's start. Alright, let's start to work on our third picture. This time I would like to start with the hat. And the hat is a dark color, but obviously if you just paint it all black, it could be too, but I want to play with light a little bit. So I'm going to go cooler in the shade part, and this is the darkest part of the hat. And then on the side that got hit by the light, I'm going to add some brown color, so we have that nice playful game of light and shadow. And I'm just adding some water to mix it all together and to let the watercolor flow and create those textures. So I'm going to cover first everything in the top part of the hat, and then after we're going to drop some darker color in. But as you see, I'm adding a contour line first, and then with water and subpigment I'm continuing filling up the space of the hat, slowly moving the paint around the paper. And there is a little writing on the hat that I'm trying to keep white, but on this format it's pretty hard, so we'll try as we can, but if it will disappear, that's okay. We'll just use a white color at the end. I'm still keeping just a little bit of white. You could see on the, like, not right now, but right now you can see the white little part on the right side that I purposely keep white because we always want some light areas to shine through. And now I'm adding darker spots, and this will make the texture more interesting and more natural. So this is the hat, and our first layer of the hat is done. Maybe we'll come back with details later, but now let's go and work on the hand. And why? The reason is that I don't really want to touch the face yet, as the hat is still wet and the paint will leak, and that's not something I want on my face. I don't want darker color there right away. So I'm going to start working on the hand, and this part is in the shade, so we can use a pretty dark skin tone for this one and just cover the whole surface, and then add some water to create that loose edge effect. That's really important, to have a balance of sharp edges and soft edges, as I previously already said. And just slowly go towards the light part of the hand, changing the color a little bit, and you can make the color lighter or darker by adding more or less water. And also you can add some more yellow or orange in the lighter areas and get cooler tones, like you could use some blue color or cool reds and create the skin that's in the shadow. And also the light part of the hand I just kept white, and the reason why is that we always can cover the white with the paint, but it's really hard to do opposite. So we're trying to keep our white areas till the really end. And right now I'm just adding a little bit of shadow to the fingers and some shadow from the fingers on the palm. And we're finishing this hand in this nice light transparent layer. And don't forget to add a little bit of water, just clean water, to break the line in some areas, as it always helps your watercolors looks more natural. Next area I'm going to work on is the neck, and there is a shadow from the head on the neck, so neck is pretty dark, but we have light from the right side. So I'm going to add first some skin tone to the neck where is the darkest areas, and then with clean water I'm just going to create that light, so everything just smoothly flow. And we don't really need to work too careful. I mean, we need to work careful, but it's pretty hard to control the paint on such small areas. So we're just kind of creating the volume without going into too many details. And then after that I'm going to start working on the hair, and I'm going to switch to a darker color and dry brush. So dry brush effect is really good for the hair, as it creates some texture, and the only thing I'm looking at in this case is the direction of how hair grow and how they lay, and this will help to create the effect that will look natural and without overworking your sketch. It also helps us to create the negative effect for our hair and for the glasses, so everything in place, and you can see how it already helps to create the volume and define the face. And now I feel like I want to touch the hat a little bit more to create more contrast, and that's why I'm grabbing my darker gray color and just go around with some details, we'll call it, but more just creating the texture and some folds on this hat. Okay, now let's start working on the face and skin tone of the face. I'm going to make it a little bit cooler, and we'll start with the top part where there is the shadow from the head. So we're going to start darker here at the top, and then by adding water I'm just smooth it so it's a nice and soft transition. And also I'm creating a negative effect right now for the glasses, so I'm going around the glasses. Then I'm adding shadow on the eyelids and on the lower eyelids, and then we're going to touch the nose. There's also shadow from the glasses, so we will work on that one as well. Now let's go, yeah, so this is the shadow from the glasses, And let's go work on the nose. Under the nose there is a shadow as well, nostrils, and a little bit here to separate the nose. Okay, and now let's touch this part of the face to make it nice and smooth. And I'm going on the hair as well, not afraid of that line. Just kind of everything is connected. Under the lip there is a shadow, a little bit here is darker, and eyebrows a little bit darker I can make now. Let's get some darker shadow under the head, and we can look in the picture in general and see where we want to go darker. So maybe a little bit here, there, some shadow from the glasses, some darker shadow in the corner of the eyes. So just going a little bit of everywhere, getting my darker areas and smoothly transitioning it into the rest of the face with clean water, so we don't have too many sharp edges. Now I just want to add a little bit warmer color on the right side of the face, so you can see I'm using more orange color in this one, and just building the volume of the head. And we are going to go a little bit under the glasses, and also let's separate the neck from the hair and make this area a little bit darker, because this is one of the darkest area. Okay, now let's start working on the lip. The top lip is darker, and we are going to add a little bit of shadow on the bottom lip, a little bit on the left side, and at the bottom. And then with the same color I'm going to work on the hand a little bit as well. We're not going too deep into details, like I already said, but some little lines always make a big difference. So dark is dark for the nostrils, and the shadow under the glasses, and I'm just using the same color for all those areas, adding a little bit of water to make it smooth. Now we can add the cheekbone and touch a little bit under the nose area, cheekbone, and some clean water, keeping my lightest area white for now. A little bit more here, so connect everything again. This part of the chin will make darker. And let's add a little bit of bright red on the ear. Here we go. Okay, now let's go add some more smaller details. As the pupils and the glasses almost the same time, and they're pretty much connected in this situation, so I'm going to start with the eyes and then go into the glasses frame. I'm mixing a darker brown color, and we are going to start with the contour line around the pupils, and then after that connect it to the glasses frame. And first I'm going to use a lighter brown for the frame, and after that I will make a darkest, almost black, darker color, and drop it while the brown is still wet to create that pattern of the glasses that kind of reminds cheetah, or I don't know how you would call that pattern. So orangey brown first, and then while it's wet, just a really dark brown or black. Here we go, just while it's still wet, dropping the color, and it's just spread itself. And just making this shape for the glasses. But before you start working it, make sure that your first layer is completely dry, or it will just spread everywhere, right? So in this case, we started working on dry surface. Okay, now a little bit touching hair here, and let's do eyebrows, as now it looks like they disappeared, so we need some color here. A little bit of brown, but not too dark, because I don't want them to be darker than the glasses frame. And also let's quickly touch our darker shadows, as now when watercolor paper dry, everything get lighter, and I can see that I want to add some more darker shadows on the face. So I'm pretty much going around the same areas as before, touching the eyelids, touching the forehead, under the head, so everywhere where we see a little bit darker areas. Now let's add some darks to the hair. I want to separate the face from the hair here, so I'm creating this shadow, and this will help me to pull my face forward. So just darker brown color, and everything that in the shadow I'm making just a little bit cooler by adding some blue color in it. And while it's still wet, I can drop more darker color for the contrast, also on this side where the neck is. Okay, connecting. Let's work a little bit more on the hair. Maybe you can add some details here, some little hair, some dry brush effect, some warmer color on this side, some darker areas in the shadow, just creating the volume and creating the shape without going into too deep into details, and just a little bit here and there. And now I'm going to touch the skin tone here, my other hand or shoulder, keeping some light at the top, and the t-shirt I'm going to keep white. Final little touches. Let's touch a little bit eyelashes, eyebrows. We'll touch the head, some tiny lines, some elements, some darker lines. So everything that create the noise, we're adding now. Okay, last few elements, a ring, some the lipstick, and then we are going to go with some tiny lines here, and also I'm going to add some shadow on this lipstick, and let's work a little bit on this hand. I'm creating the contour line. And let's add some hair for the details. And I think we're done. That's all we need for this one. Let's try to work on our last picture in this video, even though this one took a little bit longer. But that's okay. That was probably one of the longest of our painting. The last one will be really fast and creative. For our last sketch, I would suggest you to experiment and make it really simple. Make something that would take about 5 minutes of your time, and don't overthink it, because sometimes when we start overthinking, our sketch doesn't work as good. So that will be a really fast one, and I'm going to start with the face, with the skin. I'm going to find, as usual, the darkest areas. I'm using a really white brush for this one because I don't want any restrictions and overthinking, as I already said. So I'm just trying to find the main darkest areas, and then with clean water I will spread it a little bit so everything looks softer. And then after this we are going to add some dark contrast. I'm going to use a really dark and bright colors for this one. I think I'm going to use some really dark gray color for the head. You can see that this creates a lot of contrast, and maybe some colors will be bold. I still will keep some light using the white color of the paper. And I'm not even waiting till everything is dry completely, because this one is more like experiment, so I don't really care about it looking realistic or anything like that. It can be completely abstract. The main point here is have fun and experiment, and maybe find something that you wouldn't find if you would be really strict with your painting. So I'm smoothly going into neck, and creating a shadow from the hair, from the head, connecting it to the hair. And on this size, because I'm working with this wide flat brush, it's pretty easy to create the texture. So my brush is, again, it's a dry brush for the hair, and now I'm going to switch and add a couple strokes for the skin. And you could see it just strokes. It's not really working in anything particular. It's really bold. It's yeah, it's just sketch, and then some bright red color for the t-shirt, and maybe let's add some lip color as well. Here I will take a smaller brush just because it's really tiny, so it would be hard with that big one to create the shape of the lip. But with the small brush you can definitely do some smaller areas for this sketch. Okay, so we're creating the shape of the lip, and again this will be supported, the red color of the lip is supported by the red color of the t-shirt, and some accent on the eyes, so obviously we need to add some shape here. Not too many details, but definitely need to show those darkest area on the face. That's really important. And once we're done our eyes and eyelashes, so work a little bit on the eyebrow with the strokes that the same way as the hair growth, and a little bit on the eyelids, and then I'm going to touch also after this a little bit background. That's background always give a sense of depth and space. And let's add a little bit of darker shadow first here by the hair line, and want to do it really dark this time. I want a lot of a contrast, and then a darker contour line I'm using for this one. I'm also going to start working on that background I said with the dry brush, and keeping some white contour line kind of around my portrait. And then I would say it's almost done. We're just adding a little bit more detail with the dry brush. I'm creating the hair texture and a little bit of warmer color. So I'm using dark brown, and these little contrasts will add a good effect for the painting. A little bit on the other side as well. And you pretty much could stop here. I'm going to continue working on this one, and we'll just kind of see what else you could add, but mainly it's pretty much done. I could keep it like that and then just start working on a bigger piece or whatever I did the sketch for example. But in this case, I'm just going to add a couple little details, some hair, some texture. I'm going to make the left side of the face a little darker, add some rosy cheeks. But again, you can stop anytime. At this point, the sketch is ready, and you could pretty much stop right here. But I'm just going to add these little details and then I'll be done. The sketch took 5 minutes of my time, so this is a really good exercise to work fast. Try that one as well. So we did all 4 hour sketches now, and I'm happy we completed this course. So now we feel much more comfortable to create sketches for our portraits. See you next time.